I'm Zainab and you're watching Studimation's computer science series. Today, the topic of our video is network hardware. The basic computer hardware components that are needed to set up a network are as follows. Network cables. Network cables are the transmission media to transfer data from one device to another. A commonly used network cable is category 5 cable, as shown in the image. Routers. A router is a connecting device that transfers data packets between different computer networks. Typically, they're used to connect a PC or an organization's LAN to a broadband internet connection. They contain ports so that the computer and other devices can connect with them using network cables. Repeaters, hubs, and switches. Repeaters, hubs, and switches connect network devices together so that they can function as a single segment. A repeater receives a signal and regenerates it before retransmitting it so that it can travel longer distances. A hub is a multi-port repeater having several input-output ports so that input at any port is available at every other port. A switch receives data from a port, uses packet switching to resolve the destination device, and then forwards the data to the particular destination rather than broadcasting it as a hub. Bridges. A bridge connects two separate Ethernet network segments. It forwards packets from the source network to the destined network. Gateways. A gateway connects entirely different networks that work upon different protocols. It is the entry and the exit point of a network and controls access to other networks. Network interface cards. NIC is a component of the computer to connect it to a network. Network cards are of two types: internal network cards and external network cards. What is a MAC address? MAC stands for Media Access Control. A MAC address is a unique 12-digit hexadecimal identifier given to a network interface controller. MAC addresses are assigned by network interface controller manufacturers, making the identifiers permanent. However, it's possible to change your MAC address. Since a MAC address is tied to the network interface card, it is also commonly referred to as the physical address. A MAC address is commonly displayed in 6 sets of 2 digits or characters separated by either a colon, hyphen, or period for better readability. Here is an example of a MAC address. The first 3 sets represent the organizational identifier, while the last 3 identify a specific NIC. While the term MAC might make you think that MAC addresses are related to Apple devices, they aren't. Any device that can connect to the internet has a MAC address. And by any, we mean any. So your 5-year-old HP laptop, your Google Assistant smart speaker, your smart TV, and any other devices that you can hook onto the internet have a MAC address. What is an IP address? An Internet Protocol address is a unique identifier given to a device connected to a local network or the internet. An IP address can be likened to a home address, which is important when sending mail. Similarly, an IP address enables different devices connected to a network to communicate. It is the address from which your computer sends and receives data. For instance, if you want to send data to a specific computer on the internet, a router will route it to the computer because of its unique identity, IP address. The same applies to websites. Every website has a unique IP address. There are 2 versions of IP addresses, IPv4 and IPv6. IPv4 includes a set of 4 numbers separated by periods ranging from 0 to 255. Here's a simple IPv4 address. Whereas an IPv6 consisted of 8 sets of 4-character strings of numbers and letters with colons in between. A sample IPv6 address is IPv6 is the latest version of IP addresses. Now that you understand what IP addresses and MAC addresses are all about, let's dive into how they differ from each other. First, an Internet Service Provider (ISP) provides an IP address, while a Network Interface Controller manufacturer assigns a MAC address. An IP address is either a 32-bit IPv4 or a 128-bit IPv6 logical address, while a MAC address is a 48-bit physical address. MAC addresses operate in the data link layer of the Open Systems Interconnection (OSI) model, while IP addresses operate in the network layer. Another difference between a MAC address and an IP address is the latter is temporary while the former is permanent. You can change it, but do it with caution. Also, 2 or more devices can't share a MAC address, while multiple devices can share a single IP address. The key takeaway is an IP address identifies a connection to the network, while a MAC address identifies a physical device hooked onto the network. While the two terms may look similar, they each have their applications and differ in various ways. Both are useful in networking, each proving handy in different scenarios, and you can't substitute one for another at all costs. Thank you for watching Studimation, animated education videos.